Hey everyone, I'm back here with another review of the Dropner's younger brother, the Valkyrie, making it Yoyorecreation's premier bimetal. Alright, so as always, this review will contain 5 different sections, which is the history, construction, trick handling, playability, and my overall opinions on the yo-yo. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first section I'll be going over the history of the Valkyrie. So the Valkyrie was first inspired by European team member Piotrek Smietana. He wanted to create a yo-yo that played equal to or even better than the Dropner. He wanted to create a yo-yo that appealed more to people who may have didn't like the Dropner or people who want something different in Yoyorecreation's line of yo-yos. While the Dropner is mainly suited for faster and more extreme type players, the Valkyrie is more suited towards slower, more tech type players. So the Valkyrie is inspired by the Norse mythological spirit of women. So now moving on to the construction part of my review. So here's a look of the Valkyrie. So as you can see, the Valkyrie is consisted of a strong 7075 aluminum body and thick stainless steel weight rims, making it a bimetal obviously. So the diameter is 56 millimeters, the width is 42.05 millimeters, the gap width is 4.60 millimeters, the weight is 65.6 grams. The bearing that it comes stock with is a NSK DS bearing from Yoyorecreation themselves, and the response is 18mm hard type IR pads. So now let's talk about the engravings. So the whole idea of the Valkyrie is on the Nordic mythological women that took spirits of warriors to Valhalla, a mythological story, and if you guys want to check it out, links are in the description down below. So I for one really like the engravings that were put on the Valkyrie. So the ropes around the rims represent the Valkyries that took the warriors to Valhalla, and these engravings right here represent the wings of the Valkyrie. And on the back, there's a wing right here that represents the wings of the Valkyries that each and every woman had. So again, if you want to look more into that, there is a link in the description down below. Now for a couple comparisons. Okay, so here's a Replay Pro. So as you can see, the diameter of the Replay Pro is slightly larger. The width is just a little bit. Just a tad bit wider. Okay, and then here is a first base. Again, because it's a plastic, the width is a little bit larger, and so is, oh no, the diameter is a little bit larger, and so is the width. Now here is the Valkyrie's bigger brother, the Dropner. So you can see the Dropner is just about a millimeter larger in diameter, but they're just about the same in width, with the Dropner being slightly wider. As you can see, the profiles are similar, but with the Valkyrie, the shape, it has more of a step right here between the seam of the body and the stainless steel weight rims, meaning that the Valkyrie is a really durable yo-yo. So if you smack it on the rims, it won't cause the rims to shift, unlike the Dropner where it has a straight seam right here. Okay, here's a pulse fire. The pulse fire's diameter is a little bit smaller, about a millimeter, and the widths are just about the same, and they're both bimetals. Here's a shuta. The shuta and the shutter have the same specs, so if you have a shutter, then here's a little comparison. The widths are just about the same, and the diameter on the shuta is just a little bit smaller. Here's a chief. The diameters are just about the same, with the Valkyrie being at least half a millimeter larger. Here is the widths. The widths are just about the same, with the chief being a lot wider by 2 millimeters. And yeah. Alright, so now into the trick handling section. So as you know, Yoyorecreation makes a lot of their bimetals to which it can handle the stresses of competition and whatnot, and they can pretty much handle any other type of trick that you can throw at it. But the Valkyrie is sort of in a special case. Alright, so the Valkyrie can most definitely handle speed. Despite it being a few grams heavier than the Dropner, It can pull off your basic speed combos, and it can also really handle the stresses that a lot of speed players like to do. Okay, in terms of tech, the Valkyrie is more catered towards technical and slower type players. So because of its extreme stability and because of the shape and size of the yo-yo, it can really breeze through a lot of technical tricks that you might throw at it. And it can really handle a lot of string layers in the gap, because if you didn't know, the gap is just a little bit recessed where the bearing and response is, and so that kind of aids with technical and slacks. As you know, with a lot of Yoyorecreation's bimetals, they can really handle horizontal pretty well, and the Valkyrie is pretty much no exception. The Valkyrie can pretty much, just chew through any type of horizontal combo you could do, whether it's regular or behind the back, or pretty much anything really. It's due to its extreme stability because of the thick stainless steel weight rims, and because of the overall way that the Valkyrie is sort of just shaped. It's shaped similar to the Dropner, so you can expect that the horizontal plate could be just about the same, or probably even better in my opinion. Okay, so grinds. As I talked about it in my construction review, the Valkyrie has a bead blasted, or it might be a sand blasted body, I'm not quite too sure. Because the Valkyrie's body is sand blasted, it can actually hold to any type of grinds that you can do. So, it could handle just regular grinds, if you tilt it enough, it can handle thumb grinds. Finger spins are also really easy to pull off on the Valkyrie. And, it's just overall really fun to pull off grinds on the Valkyrie due to its extremely smooth bead blasting. And believe it or not, because of all of the engravings right here, you might think it might be a little hard to do finger spins. Engravings aren't serrated and they aren't raised. They're laser etched to the body, so they pretty much have no resistance when finger spinning or grinding at all. Alright, and then now moving on to the playability section of the review. So with owning the Valkyrie for a couple of months now, I actually found that it has a very interesting play. What's interesting about the play and the overall feeling of the Valkyrie is the fact that the Valkyrie plays sort of floaty but solid at the same time. It's kind of difficult to describe a way that a yo-yo feels or plays because it's all subjective to the independent yo-yoer. But I believe that, in my experience of actually owning the Valkyrie, I think it plays pretty floaty for it being a bimetal. As at a lot of times the Valkyrie can play sort of light and solid at the same time, while other times it'll just play solid, and other times it'll play light. Because I believe that the way that the Valkyrie is designed and the way how the materials are used, able to maintain a very light feeling on the string while still remaining extremely solid, similar to how the Dropner plays. The Valkyrie also has a sense of solidness on the string where you can feel assured that the yo-yo will stay stable and long spinning throughout any type of combo that you can, put through it. Valkyrie is just one of those yo-yos where you just have to try it yourself out on your own and see whether or not you like it. And it's another one of those throws where you're just gonna have to experience it for yourself. So now moving on to my opinions, the last section of the review. With owning the Valkyrie for a couple of months now, probably one of the overall smoothest and most unique playing yo-yos that I've owned in my collection thus far. I would say that it's in a completely different league of its own. It really suits my more technical and slower style due to its weight and very stable nature as well. I just think that the Valkyrie is a yo-yo that everybody should just try at least once. Favorite things about the Dropner is just the way it plays. It's very light but solid at the same time. It has one of those feelings that's just really unique to the company or the yo-yo itself. So a few things that you might be worried about or concerned about the Valkyrie is that the IR pads are actually pretty grippy for me playing it. Back to your hand, and it can sometimes snag during a few technical tricks. And I believe that that's due to the nature of the IR pads. And the other thing is that because of the pretty sharp shape of the Valkyrie, the rims are pretty sharp, and so is this first little step. When you bind it back, sometimes it could, sort of cut, not really cut, but sort of, come back to your hand really hard, and that might hurt some people, or that might feel a little uncomfortable. But it's just one of those things that you might want to look out for. It just be nitpicks, but they really aren't too much of a problem for me, however, so I really don't mind it. And it's not completely a deal breaker for me, and hopefully it won't be for other people as well. But overall, the Valkyrie really caters to a certain demographic of yo-yoers, but I just hope that everybody has a chance to try one and hopefully they'll like it. Because the Valkyrie has Yoyorecreation's name on it, you know it's going to be pretty expensive at over around $200. So, you know, depending on where you buy it, it'll be a little bit more, a little bit less than a Dropner, but much around the same price. But you know, if you ever get a chance to buy one and if you ever have the money, you know, I believe that it's worth it. But as always, you should at least try before you buy. Alright everyone, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. To give Yoyorecreation and Piotrek Smietana a big thank you for making this yo-yo. It's probably one of my favorite yo-yos right now, and I just really enjoy the way it plays. I put a lot of work into it, and I just hope you guys, you know, found it interesting. I tried to make it as detailed as possible. And if I left out anything, just put it in the comment sections down below. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.